really hard to follow Aaron Cheney. He represents everything that is great about water polo. He's the essence of Aaron Cheney is the best part about water polo. So humble, so generous, and it was a pleasure to travel with you, and I'm honored to be up here with you as well. And to all my other fellow classmates, or I'll get to you later. I'm just really proud to be here. My speech is going to be long. I think this is probably one of the last chances that you get to say what you want to say. I'm officially old and may not get another chance. So I even brought notes. I don't normally do that. I usually just speak off the cuff. But I want to make sure I don't forget anyone. Thank you to USA Water Polo for putting on this incredible event. It was great to just see everyone's faces and have that hour of time beforehand to see everyone and connect again. It's the best part about this sport, is the people. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee. I didn't realize so many of my friends were on the committee. Might want to check the results on this. Thank you to all the family and friends that traveled to be here today. It's really special that you're here to share this moment with me. Thank you to Brian, my partner, for celebrating me, always. Thank you to my mom. I can't talk about my mom up here for too long because I'll end up crying. I think everyone in this room knows the sacrifices that my mom took to get me here. It's not easy being the parent of an Olympian, but to be a single mom of an Olympian is pretty remarkable. I remember her driving me to my first junior team tryout when I was 12 years old, 19 and under team. And we had to go up the 5 to Modesto to hang out with Brent Bolander. And we stayed in a Motel 6. And I'm sure she took off several days of work to be there, to get me there. And she was always sacrificing. I think she's probably down 20 years of sleep. She worked nights so that she could get me to all my sporting events. And I would not be here without her today. She's everything. I also have my brother here today, which is awesome. I haven't had the opportunity to publicly thank my brother before. But we grew up in Norwalk, pretty rough neighborhood, single mom, and the entire neighborhood was boys, all about 5 or 6 years older than me. So I was 5, 6, 7 years old, and I had no interest in playing with dolls or doing anything than being outside with these guys playing sports. And we would play football in the street, and we'd have teams. We'd had enough guys to have teams, and they were probably 12, 13, 14, and I was 6, 7, 8, and they would let me play. And I remember coming in the huddle, and the guy was playing quarterback would drop the route. Like, okay, you're going to go hard angle there, and you're going to cut across, and you're going to catch the ball. And they would actually throw it to me, and I would actually catch it. And then came time to be tackled. And there was my brother, to make sure that I could play the game safely with all these guys and not get hurt. And that is just a simple example of what my brother has done for me in my life. He's always taken care of me. He was the male role model and the guardian. He also is the reason why I'm a goalkeeper. He was a goalie in soccer, and so I was a goalie in soccer. And then it was time to join the swim team. He only lasted about a month. He hated it. But I stuck it out, and through that swimming experience, I found water polo. So thank you for leading me to this game. I have so many thank yous. I'm going to start with coaches. My age group coach, Mark Johnson, of Cerritos Aquatic Club. I played 10 and under, so about the age of these little girls sitting up here. And we played water polo every Tuesday, Thursday, and swam, every other day. And he made sure that sport was fun. He wasn't one of those swim coaches that made you swim 10,000 yards. He was a swim coach that made you swim long course in the morning and then took you to the beach to go body surfing before you played water polo at night. It was the best. I want to thank Coach Doug Drury and Amber Drury for creating the first women's team I ever was a part of. All of my water polo before I got to college was mostly boys water polo or co-ed at best. So thank you to Doug Drury and Amber Drury for creating that space for me to play. Sandy Nita, I've never had the opportunity to thank her properly like I should have probably 20 years ago. I think it's crazy that one person can change the course of your entire life. Like, I don't even know that I know Sandy all that well, but my encounter with Sandy changed the trajectory of my entire life. It was like, get on this space shuttle, you're going to space, and you have no idea. And I had no idea. And she just invited me to come train with the senior team. She's probably the one that told me to go to that tryout when I was 12 that I didn't make. I was kind of annoyed. I had to go all the way to Modesto and not make the team. I didn't understand how it worked. So thank you, Sandy, for changing the whole trajectory of my entire life. You got me to UCLA? Yeah. And she did that for a lot of people, by the way, not just me. But thank you. Thank you to Brent Bolander for taking me to Istanbul when I was 16 years old. He took a group of women to Istanbul in the 90s, you guys, early 90s. It was my first ever flight, first ever time on an airplane. Incredible. Incredible coach, incredible person. Oh gosh, Jamie Wright, Denny Harper, Vaughn. We had some epic trips to Europe together with Amber. Thank you for that. Victor Flynn was my high school boys coach, and he made me go to his master's Long Beach water polo practices just to get more time. And I remember meeting Darren Blizzard for the first time at Long Beach City College with a wall cage. I'll never forget that. You guys know Darren Blizzard, you understand what I'm saying. I don't know why I kept putting my face in front of that ball for so many years. I don't know. Guy Baker, Ken Lindgren, Kyle Kopp for taking us to the first Olympic Games. It was an incredible experience. I feel so fortunate to find out, to be part of that. 6 teams in the world, you guys, that got to go do that. We didn't make the qualification the first time around. We had to qualify through the back door in Europe in Palermo. It was an impossible task that we pulled off somehow. But that allowed the U.S. to go from 8th place World Championships to winning a silver medal in Sydney in 2 years' time. I think it's pretty impressive. Adam Krikorian. I love Adam. He's the best. He's been a friend of mine since college. Like I said, I think he was probably not shooting as hard as he could. But he's been a great friend to me for a long time. We have so many stories and good memories, but I want to talk a little bit about the World Championships this past summer that I got to go to in Budapest, in Hungary. I happened to not be working. Adam needed an assistant coach, and it was a bit of divine timing. I felt like when I got to Budapest, I was time traveling. It was like looking back 20 years back to when I was on the national team. And just being able to be an observer of that world again after so long being away was amazing. All those women at that table over there, you guys would be so proud of how the national team is doing this. It was half older players, half younger players, like 50-50 split. And those older players really took those younger players under their wing, and it was magic. And I think we all learned that from you guys. The U.S. is, everyone's watching. You know, when we were coming up on the scene in the Olympics, we were proving ourselves every day, and they've proven themselves. And to see the way that Adam is respected on the international scene is amazing. And the way that you're leading this team, irregardless of the gold medals that you keep winning, is impressive. I don't really remember very many games. I'm not one of those athletes that can draw up a 6-on-5 from 2004. I have no idea what happened. I literally don't remember one single play from one single game. But I certainly remember all of my teammates. And a teammate in water polo, it's a different kind of teammate. I think there's something about being in that pool with those women or men, and you're in it, and it's a special connection. And the best part about my experience has been the relationships I've had with my teammates, a lot of them who are sitting right in front of me. I love that I can look at all your faces right now. You guys it's just been a great adventure to experience life with you guys. You're the greatest gift that the sport has ever given me. And I love you guys so much. We have so many stories. You can't accomplish anything without your team. There's no way you win a gold medal in water polo or a silver medal in water polo without your teammates. Every team that I've been a part of has taught me something. My age group teammates taught me how to have a good time, enjoy the game. They didn't care if I was a boy or a girl. The women's national team taught me how to be a team and how to represent the United States on a world stage. My first junior team for teaching me what it feels like to put on a USA cap on your head and go to battle. And then my UCLA teammates, who many of them are sitting here, they're my sisters. I don't know what I would do without our group chat. I love you guys so much. They're there, they always show up, and the team that we created there was magic. I don't think it'll ever be duplicated. I remember turning 26, 27 and looking around and having these friends in my life and just being like, how did I get so lucky? And how are we all so different and we still get along so well? Amazing. I feel like this is getting long. I'm just going to go straight to Coralie. The best teammate there is, there's no better teammate. I met Coralie playing on that team that Doug Drury coached. She came from Hemet, I came from Norwalk, all the way to Pomona, a few times a week just to play with other women. And I got to know her there, but I knew she was really good. She scored a lot of goals, but I don't think we had enough time to really get to know each other. And I went off to UCLA, and she's a year behind me, and I remember the day that Guy Baker came on the pool deck and said, hey, we just signed Coralie Simmons. And I was so stoked because I knew we were going to win. She's really good. Fierce competitor, one of the hardest workers I've ever met. She's clutch in huge games, but she's also really fun and has the best energy, only brings good vibes. Coralie's always connected to the team. She's always plugged into the team. The only time that she's not plugged into the team and what the team needs from her is when she's in a space where she's trying to physically challenge herself and she's in her own zone trying to push the limits of what's possible for herself physically. There were some swim sets in lane 1 where I remember she was either carrying all of us through 2100s or she was off in her own space just pushing these physical limits that no one thought was possible. So much so that we had to bring Adam into lane 1 just to give her someone to race against. She also showed me how a different way to be. You know, I grew up with all these guys in this not so great neighborhood, and here was this energetic, good vibe, always happy, but also super competitive. She really taught me that I could be a different way. I never had a person to look at and be like, I want to be like that person. I consider her my best friend. I can't believe we get to do this in life together too, this part. I was so happy when I heard you were a part of the class. I'm just really proud of you, and thank you for being such a great teammate in water polo and in life. That's all I have. Thank you guys.